Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, joined by co-host Jeff.
What up, Mark? I'm here joined by also host Mark. Not a great start.
What are you talking about? You ruined it. I'm dancing in my video here.
Yeah. Well, guess what, Mark?
Yeah. What's happening?
We made it through another month of movies. This time, I think a lot more successful than we've been of late as far as the quality of films. But will that hold up as we take a look at our movie this week? So just a reminder, our theme is our favorite actresses, mine being Charlize Theron, yours being Emma Stone, and we each pick movies based on the other person's selection. And I chose Charlize Theron, so you picked the movie this week, which is Tully. It's not Sully, where the guy lands a plane. It's Tully, which IMDb describes as a struggling mother of three forms. And a struggling mother of three, not three forms. There should have been a comma here. Forms an unexpected bond with the night nanny hired to help her with a newborn baby. It's directed by Jason Reitman, written by Diablo Cody. Who names their kid Diablo?
That's a badass name, though.
Yeah. But of course,
I mean, it's a badass name.
It is. The Cody kind of is like, it starts like Diablo.
Right.
Cody. It stars, of course, Charlize Theron, Mackenzie Davis, Ron Livingston, and Mark Duplass, who we just can't seem to get away from Mark Duplass.
We can't seem to get away from Charlize Theron being married to Mark Duplass.
She's not married to Mark Duplass in this.
No. Wait, he's the other one.
He's the brother.
Yeah.
She's married to Ron Livingston, mostly known from Office Space.
Yeah, in Bombshell, she was married to
Duplass.
No, not Duplass. Right.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, they did a good job of getting those two actors to look alike.
Mark Duplass and Mark Duplass?
No,
they
Ron
look
Livingston
exactly the
Duplass.
same. It's crazy.
So, had you seen this before?
No. How about you? You picked it.
No, I had not. I watched it with my wife, and she said she had seen it before. However, she didn't really remember it. So we watched it together, and it was like watching it for the first time. For her, I guess.
Yeah.
And
for you, being that it was your first time.
Correct. This is a weird one for me because the poster makes it look. It actually doesn't do anything but like make you think that maybe Charlize Theron's character is a child of some sort, but I wasn't expecting this to be as narrow focused as it was. And I just like Charlize Theron, she takes these roles and like just like conforms her body to them, and she does a really good job here of being a pregnant lady.
Gaining weight. I don't know like how much we need to applaud people for gaining weight. I get that you're doing it for a role. I could gain weight, no problem. Nobody's like, hell yeah, Jeff, well done. Never.
Here's $10 million.
But if I lose weight, I get complimented. It just seems unfair.
I think, I mean, you've lost a lot of weight, so congratulations to you.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to congratulate me if I gain it back.
But what if you filled out?
That's gaining it back.
Right. But like you look better because you filled out the missing weight.
That's gaining it back.
Yeah, but I would applaud you for that.
Okay, so you're saying if I gain more, you'll be like, hell yeah, Jeff, well done.
Yeah. You do you.
That shirt is so tight on you. Great job.
So Jason Reitman, he's known for other films like I didn't pull it up, but like he just directed Ghostbusters Afterlife a couple years ago. Yeah, and that wasn't very good.
I did not like that one. I have seen Thank You for Smoking, which is good. Juno, which is excellent.
Yeah. Up in the Air, young adult, also
Labor
starring
Day.
Charlize
We'll need to
Theron.
save Labor Day. He produced that one, but we'll need to save that like we did Leap Year.
He also
Remember
directed
that
Labor
great
Day.
idea?
I do. Anyways, so he's not. I mean, Jason Reitman is a well-established director, and he's got some hits. He's got some misses, but this one flew under the radar for me, and I don't know. Like, I really don't know what I think about it.
He's directing the upcoming Saturday Night, the movie about Saturday Night Live that we did not need.
Oh, good. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
But I just like this film about probably what every woman goes through when, in pregnancy and then like shortly after pregnancy. Like, I don't know if we needed a movie about it. And we don't know if we needed a movie about this lady's life. And
this is we don't need a movie about anything, honestly. We don't need any of this. But I think a movie about postpartum depression and the stress therein is a topic that can be covered in art and can be done well.
Is this a movie about postpartum depression or is it a movie about mental illness?
Aren't they one and the same? Depression is a mental illness.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Now, she has some more psychoses than just being depressed.
But like,
so I think what we should get onto, because it sounds like you haven't quite formed your opinion on this one yet, where I think I have.
Okay.
I really like this.
Okay.
I think it's extremely well acted. I think Charlize Theron smashes this. I think Ron Livingston this is his best movie I've seen him in that wasn't Office Space, because most of the time when I see him on screen, I can't shake
Office Space
being from Office Space. But this
Right.
time I felt he did a pretty good job of shedding that. I will say the twist I did not see coming because it didn't feel like a film that was building up to a twist. But I will also say that until that twist happened, I didn't know where the film was going. I'm like, what's actually going to happen here? Are these two going to start a lesbian relationship?
That's what I was saying.
Is it a three-way? They start this sort of three-way thing. And you're kind of wondering, where does this go from here? Like, I have a feeling that if my wife came into the room with another woman and they seduced me, that even if I gave in under her permission, I still feel like my marriage would probably end. I just feel like that's something the jealousy or something, I don't know. It's weird. No kink shame. Like if you're able to do that, that's cool. I just feel like it would be weird afterwards.
Well, especially the way they did it, right? Like, oh, this is a stranger. I'm surprised you didn't like whip out like the gun and like blow her away.
Well, no, he didn't have it on him.
Keep that piece on him while I sleep.
That would have been a hell of an ending. And it would have been a shorter film. The film's already short as it is. It's an hour and a half, which I approve of. So I guess we need to talk about the twist to really kind of get in, because up until the twist, I didn't have a lot of complaints other than I didn't know where the story was going. It didn't feel quite like it had an ending in sight. And that's because the twist is really what starts the third act of the film. A short third act, but the third act. And so like the first act is us watching her really struggle with being a mother of three. Her marriage isn't in a great shape. It's not in a bad shape, but it's kind of in the shape that I think a lot of marriages get to, where you're just kind of going through the motions. There's no fire. They're not having sex. They're not really enjoying each other's company. So that's kind of where their marriage is. So they decide to hire the night nurse, who is Tully, played by Mackenzie Davis. And Tully's kind of what I would call sort of almost hippie in her ways.
Free spirit. She's a free
spirit. And, and her help does a lot for Charlize Theron. She kind of bounces back, has this friend that she can talk to, and via three-way are able to get the sex life going again.
Well, she comes in and she is everything that Charlize Theron's character is not. She's full of life. She's young, attractive, and she doesn't mind cleaning. She's very good with the kids. And so she's very polar opposite in the moment than Charlize Theron or her character. And we should say that their oldest, their young, the son, Jonah or whatever. Yeah.
He gets eaten by a whale halfway through the movie. Really crazy.
But then he gets out.
Yeah.
And
he tries to preach to the city, and then the city actually. Anyway, we don't need the whole story.
He's autistic, and
they don't say that.
They don't say it, and they tiptoe around it. And I don't know why they don't say it, but maybe in 2018.
Well, and also maybe you don't want to harp on it. Like it feels like autism's sort of been like a hip thing to put into art now. Is that just me? Like it just feels there's the show Atypical. There's I don't know. Just
but
it's not a big deal. I don't dislike it. I'm wondering
all the characteristics of the kid mimic.
That's the thing
autism,
I thought, right? Like just
yeah.
the way he
the brushing of his skin, that is a very autism spectrum thing.
Yes.
And so then like the loud noises and just the way he is just him. The film portrays him as autistic, and so when she uses the vernacular of quote retarded, I was like, why don't we just I don't understand why the film didn't go into.
They use the term quirky is their nice side, and then she said the R word,
right?
But
I put quotes
they
around
never
it, so
say you did. You're fine. You quoted the film. However, that word would be fine. There's other words. There's one in particular that you can't. I'm just quoting here, and then say it. We all know what it is.
Correct. No, it's just I don't know. I don't know why the film shied away from using the term autistic or the
it didn't hurt the movie to not do it though, and it didn't help the movie.
Jonah was a very big part of the movie.
He seems to be the main source of frustration.
Right.
Because if he wasn't in the picture and they just had this newborn, and Sarah, their oldest, seems to be just kind of, for lack of a neurotypical.
Yeah.
And a little easier on her mom to deal with. And so we see all that exhaustion, and then the weird sex thing happens. And then they go on a bender. She's like, let's get out of here. Let's go. Well, we can't leave the baby alone. Well, Dad's asleep upstairs. And that's a thing that kind of comes up again, where he's not actually attentive in the baby's life. He kind of comes and he goes, who's Daddy's baby? And then he goes upstairs and plays Call of Duty. With a weird wireless headset that I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting on that.
It looked like an Xbox 360 it was playing on.
Well, the controller was an Xbox controller, but I didn't. They do have wireless headsets, but I didn't recognize that. It obviously is the biggest question here in the film is the type of headset he was using.
Correct.
So they go on this bender, and Tully says, "I got to leave you now." Sort of like the Ghost of Christmas Past. Or have you ever seen Nanny McPhee?
I have.
I love Nanny McPhee. Emma Thompson. It's a great movie. But she hits a point where she has to go. Her saying, I think, in the film is, when you don't want me, that's when I must stay. When you do want me, that's when I must go. Kind of the same thing. She's like, everything's all good now. Your marriage is better. And they have this thing where her boobs hurt because she needs to pump. And then they go in the worst bathroom they could find.
Oh, but it's very typical.
Is it Chicago?
No, I think they're in New York.
Brooklyn, right.
Yeah. But the bathroom is very dive bar bathroom.
Yeah. But it's like not even a dive bar. It's like a club. Which I've been to bathrooms in clubs, and they always smell like puke. Like they have wrestling shows in our town, and it's always at a club.
Yeah.
And when I go to the bathroom, I have to smell puke.
Well, I mean, that's where, I mean, better than stepping it on the floor in the main
You make
room.
an excellent point. I'm really glad they didn't puke near the ring. Just thinking about it makes me want to throw up. I better stop talking about it.
I just looked up Diablo Cody, and it's a female, by the way.
Oh, damn.
I wasn't
name.
expecting that, actually, right?
Honestly, that's my own improper bias. You know that. I apologize.
No,
I
it's
assumed that Diablo was a male name. But in my defense, Diablo means devil.
Yep.
Had I assumed
as-
a woman,
as we all-
might have been problematic.
So Ron Livingston, and I enjoyed the way his character was written, is because the movie very purposely excludes him from. It's not like he's a dick, right?
I found their relationship to be extremely realistic.
Sure, very relatable, right?
Yes.
And so, like, it'd be different if he was just an asshole, but he's not. He's very easygoing. He's he just got promoted at work, so the movie establishes he's got a lot on his plate. His wife's pregnant. He's got 2 kids. One's got autism, and he's the sole provider for the family. And so the movie establishes that he is under a lot of pressure. But the film never really shows it, other than these little things like him coming home and Charlize Theron's got microwave pizza and a bag of vegetables or whatever.
Yum.
Yeah, and you can just tell that he's like, hey, I've been at work all day and you've been doing nothing, even though like we know she's at her wit's end. And so, like, I enjoyed how his character was written and how he portrays it, is because, like you said, very relatable, very kind of just on the nose of just, I'm here, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's very realistic.
So let's talk about this twist. So they go to Brooklyn, and then they come back, and on the way back, both her and Tully fall asleep while driving. Charlize Theron's behind the wheel, and they careen off into a ditch, and you see a mermaid that looks like Tully. There's like a theme of mermaids throughout most of the movie, like just in and out. I don't really know what that has to do with anything. Before we get into the twist, would you watch the show Gigolos? Is that a real show?
If it's not, it should be.
Well, yeah, it should be. So Charlize Theron watches Gigolos late at night, and it's an erotic program, which I guess
it's like what is it? HBO.
Real Sex?
Yeah, Real Sex. That's
Real
right.
Sex Gigolos, and provocative stuff. Anyway,
It's
the
gotta be a
mermaid
real
comes.
show.
Mermaid Tully unbuckles her belt, and then Marlo swims to kind of safety. Next thing you know, she wakes up in the hospital bed, and come to find out, Tully is a figment of her imagination, an alter ego. Think Fight Club with Tyler Durden, or whatever the hell his name was.
Oh yeah.
So this is where I started being like, oh.
So you didn't like this twist?
It felt, because this is like, if you say name a twist,
Yeah.
someone not being real is like the main twist you do for twists. It's like, it's this to a lesser degree, maybe like Sixth Sense, him already being dead, no one ever sees him, but at least no, it's actually kind of really similar to this, because Tully only ever interacts with Charlize Theron.
Right.
And in Sixth Sense, the little boy only ever interacts with Bruce Willis. Spoilers for The Sixth Sense. What the fuck are you doing? How have you not seen that? But there were a couple others that came to mind, like just someone not existing, or also, the alter ego, multiple personality thing that we've done. That was what kind of made me go, huh. Now, I will say that once the movie finished, I was more on board with it, because I felt like it did add to the story. It did kind of show and lead into sort of the moral of the story of them as a couple working together, having this understanding that he comes to, because there's even a moment where he talks to the nurse and is like, she normally wouldn't leave the house like that in the middle of the night and leave the baby alone. And she's like, well, you were home, right? And he's like, oh yeah. And they just kind of hit that a little bit where he's sort of a deadbeat dad, but he's really not. He's just not present of mind.
Right.
But anyway, since he almost loses her, he kind of realizes, he needs to be more of a help, and things get better, and the movie kind of ends. I actually kind of like this movie. I like the story. The twist kind of threw me for a loop, but not in a good way. It wasn't the type of film where I was expecting a twist, right? I don't know if you were expecting one.
No,
but it did give me the feeling when I finished watching it, I should watch it again to see if there's more hints. Like, why does she always come over and immediately eat out of their fridge?
Yeah. Okay.
That was one where I was like, oh, okay. Because I thought it was odd that she would do it.
Right.
And then,
well, the first time she did it, she just went straight to the fridge, and I assumed that like Charlize Theron was just kind of taken aback by it and just chose not to say anything.
Well, yeah,
because she just met this lady.
She's sort of a different person,
right?
Different personality.
But then like the subsequent times that she came over and went and got something out of the fridge, I was like, okay, well they got a better relationship. So maybe that's that's just the thing that they do. Maybe
she keeps her own refrigerated dishes. Yeah, I was coming up with reasons for it. Right, it was a weird enough occurrence that I made a mental note of it. And after the twist, I'm like, oh, that makes sense because it's actually her fridge. And it's just kind of one of those things that was odd, and it didn't dawn on me that she hadn't met anyone else other than Charlize Theron and the baby.
Right.
Because they never show her talk or be around Ron Livingston until the bedroom scene. But then that bedroom scene is kind of the thing where you think, oh, now he's seen her. But
right.
Actually, he's only seeing Charlize Theron because you get the idea now. Charlize Theron is wearing the diner robe, the thing she's using to seduce her husband.
Right.
And she's the one unbuttoning her top and all of this stuff. So I didn't expect it. It was a surprise, but it wasn't an oh shit surprise.
No. But at the same time, I was actually on board with this with the twist, is because then, it got me thinking, like, while the movie's ending, it got me going, like, kind of replaying in my head of, like, oh, let me go back and, pick up on these things. And I don't like that films play, like, the montage of the moments in the film that they want you to, like, go back and pay attention to, like this film does.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Is because then you're just assuming that your viewer is not smart enough to, like, essentially put two and two together. And that's a problem for me, but not a big enough one for me to be like, oh, fuck you. But I don't like how quickly this film just kind of tied everything up in a bow and just ended it. It's because we didn't get enough time to marinate with the twist that Charlize Theron may have bigger mental health problems. And, like, what is she doing about them? And, like, how does this family kind of come around her? And, like, I wish there had been, like, this film very easily could have been 2 hours and I would have been okay with it. And it just felt like a cheap ending or a cheap way to end the film because.
But I found the little thing with him going up to her, taking her earbud out and putting it in his ear and then both chopping vegetables. I found that to be very sweet.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's a fine ending shot to.
It was a warm ending and it gave me the feels.
I don't mind that, is because you can put that at the end of a 2-hour film and it still has the same effect.
But why does this movie need to be 2 hours?
Because we spend so much time with Charlize Theron and her younger self, Tully, and then we learn that, hey, she's essentially having crisis, and then we don't get to spend any time with her as she gets to sort out her crisis moment. And I just felt like the film owed the character that, because we spent so much time with her. And I
feel
felt
like I was happy it was an hour and a half, and I did
Sure,
not
no.
ask for more.
I don't mind that the film was an hour and a half.
Rarely
However,
will you hear me complain about needing more movie. It has
No.
happened, but I didn't feel it in this case.
like I could have spent 4 hours with RRR and B and Raji.
Oh my god, I want to
for
see
sure.
them break up bar fights and shit.
No, I
What if there was a Beam and Raji versus Freddy and Jason?
Oh, that'd be.
What a fucking movie that would be.
I'm still waiting for Hollywood to get those dudes into an MCU film.
Oh my god, they're not yet.
No,
As a
man.
team, as a tandem, they just make up new characters. Or better yet, you open a portal and Beam and Raji show up from the
Right.
RRR universe.
Yeah,
And
RRR
they're like-
takes place in the
they're
Marvel
basically
universe.
fucking superheroes.
Right. It's ridiculous.
And then Freddy and Jason find a way through the portal. And we get my movie anyway.
So, all right. So, as far as children actors go here, what'd you think?
I think they're great. I think the baby was very much a baby and did baby things, cried like a baby. The middle boy, I think, was believable and annoying as shit. But that's just because kids throwing a fit makes you want to choke yourself. And so, well done, I guess. And the little girl was cute and at no point did anything feel inauthentic to me from the child acting.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I did enjoy the portrayal of the relationship between Charlize Theron and her daughter, because it seemed like a very best friend-ish type relationship. And then, the relationship between her and Jonah, where she is just trying to figure it out. And then, how the two are different is because her daughter's, putting shampoo in her hair in the bathtub and they're having a conversation, and it's like the most conversation she's had with anybody in her house in such a long time. And so the kids here are very good. So
I want to say,
yeah,
so this is on IMDb. One
Yeah.
other trivia. Just to go back to her body transformation. Charlize gained 50 pounds for the role. 50 pounds.
yeah,
That's a lot for a man. That's an insane amount for a woman. She adhered to an excessive diet. I like how they said adhered, as if fuck, these are the rules, to lose. I don't know. She adhered to an excessive diet of junk food, processed food, In-N-Out Burger, way to put them under the bus, and milkshakes. Why did they single out In-N-Out Burger?
What are you talking
Is
about?
that the only fast food
Under
joint
the bus. In-N-Out's probably like, hell yeah, we got Charlize Theron fat. Let's go.
Okay. She used to be in the commercial. Whenever I'm bulking up for a role, I eat In-N-Out Burger. It makes me gain weight so fast. The faster. Here's some statistics. I ate McDonald's, didn't gain shit. I ate In-N-Out Burger, blew up like a balloon. Be sure to get your fries animal style. I think that's a thing. Anyway, Theron would eat macaroni and cheese at 2 a.m. to keep the weight on. Theron said her youngest child had mistaken her for being pregnant. That's appropriate for this film, given the excessive weight gain, and that it took a year and a half for her to shed the weight. So,
Yeah, I mean that's commitment. That's how you know she's an A-lister in Hollywood. I will tell you that I just looked it up.
mm-hmm.
Gigolos.
Gigolos. Gigolos is a comedy thing, right?
I don't know.
They're guys you pay for laughs. Gigolos.
was a very real reality show.
Has it got the same characters and stuff in it? Hold
Yep.
on.
And
It
it
has, like,
was
the old
it was
guy?
on Showtime. And it is now
Oh,
on
yeah.
Paramount Plus. You can watch it on Paramount
Oh,
Plus right now.
My Paramount Plus just expired. Oh, well. That's hilarious. So they have premium cable. Like, if she's got
Yeah.
Showtime,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
this is 2018. She wouldn't have had Paramount Plus yet.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
This is that's another interesting fact is that, this and I don't they're in upstate New York. I don't know New York, but they're in this decently sized house, but they're both driving kind of older beater cars, and but like the inside of their house looks very just kind of old. And like, so the perception of like, do they actually have money or do they not have money because they have 3 kids?
I don't think they
now?
have money because the whole thing of her brother, Mark Duplass, is rich and he offers to pay for the night nurse and them having to accept it. And there's that weird, I kind of like the relationship between John Livingston or whatever the hell his name is, Ron Livingston and Mark Duplass, where they both think they hate each other, but neither of them really do.
Right.
But yeah, I think that they're portrayed as maybe not poor, but certainly not
not well
rich,
off.
but also maybe not even middle class.
Oh, I'd for sure call them middle class.
I don't even know what middle class means.
I don't think so. I don't actually don't know what that.
I feel like
means
middle
either,
class people can pay for nicer things than I have.
I don't know, if you ask a lot of people, they'd probably tell you that middle class is poor class now.
You might be right. I don't know.
But no, all right. So, do you recommend this one?
I do. I really like this one. I think it was very strong, extremely well acted. I did enjoy the story, despite the twist throwing me for a loop, and not in a good way. But it kind of stuck the landing afterwards, and so therefore I do recommend it.
I'm not gonna. Have all the rest
No.
of our films this month been recommendations?
No, we did not recommend Cruella.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What was the first one? So the first one,
It was the favorite.
the favorite. We both loved that.
Yeah.
And then the other Charlize Theron one was.
Bombshell.
Did we both? I don't think we recommended that. I don't remember. Doesn't matter.
Anyway,
Go back and listen. It's in the archive.
I'm not gonna recommend this one.
Go watch Monster.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, it's a fine. This one's a fine film. And I enjoyed the twist. I thought it added very interesting dimension to the story. I just wish we got more out of it. And I just thought the story was too narrowly focused for me to really get invested in kind of this family's life without seeing more from them. So very well acted, very well written. I just wish it had done some things differently. But yeah, I'm not going to recommend it.
There you have it. A lukewarm reception, if ever there was one. But
I mean, is what
this
it
will
is.
get your blood pumping. It's draft
Your
night,
butt?
bitches. And next month, of course, is October, so we're going to try to keep it spooky. And I sort of gave a little hint there, the Freddy versus Jason thing, as to what we're doing. We're doing another fucking complicated bullshit theme, because that's how we roll.
I don't think it's that complicated.
Well, it is, because we're doing the Mount Rushmore of slasher villains, but we're going to have 5 of them.
Yeah. Like there should be 5. There should be 5 heads up on our.
I'm not going to ask
actual...
which president should be up there. Probably FDR, maybe. Oh, this is the last episode of this podcast.
No, Gerald Ford.
Sure. Okay. Maybe Kennedy then.
No, Reagan.
I don't really like a lot of his stuff, though. Anyway, let's not get into politics because everyone loves politics, and that's not what we're here for. So what we're going to do, we're going to take turns placing a member of the slasher family on this Mount Rushmore. Now, we will say, folks, never mind. I'm not going to tip our hand.
Yeah,
So
don't do it.
who would like to go first? Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I would like to go first because I think my first face on the Rushmore of slasher villains, will set the mood for the rest of the month of October.
Okay, let me get this out. So we're doing slashers, Rushmore. Spelled all of those wrong. Okay. So pick your villain, and then we'll go back and forth.
All right. So my villain is... Let me make sure I got it right.
Boy, how many options are there?
My villain is Warwick Davis as Leprechaun.
I did not see that coming. Oh, I have some news about that one, but okay.
Wait, you don't think it's a slasher? You don't think he's a slasher?
It is undoubtedly a slasher.
Okay.
So you're picking a Leprechaun film.
I am picking a Leprechaun film, yes.
Okay. The reason I say is because very soon over on my other podcast, we will be covering the entirety of the Leprechaun series.
Really?
Yeah, so this will be a little trickle in there because there are a lot of Leprechaun films.
Wait, do we want to invite Eric onto our podcast?
I don't know. I don't know that if it weren't Leprechaun, but he's going to have to review it twice.
No, it could serve as both of your, all of our.
But Elliot's on that too. There's a whole thing.
Let's invite Elliot on. Who cares?
Okay, well, I'll have to talk with him. But it wasn't in the plans, so I don't know yet. But we're doing a Leprechaun film. Right?
I mean,
I did not see this coming.
I didn't see
the Leprechaun is on the Mount Rushmore.
I wouldn't mind putting him up there, but honestly, he's up there because he's an outside the box slasher.
Because you didn't want to make... Okay, well, I'll help save the day.
Okay.
I'm going to pick, which is not a surprise to you, a Jason Voorhees.
Okay.
So, I haven't said which film.
Right.
You haven't said which Leprechaun.
Nope. All right. Third face on the Rushmore here. It's going to be the Ghostface Killer from the Scream franchise.
Yep, Ghostface. And I think I'm going to finish us off with one of my favorites. I mean, Jason is my favorites are Jason and the last one, which is Charles himself, Chucky.
Okay. We got 2 pint-sized slashers on our...
So here's the problem. Freddy is not on our Mount Rushmore. Don't worry, folks. Michael Myers, we got you taken care of. He'll be there. But no Freddy.
No Freddy. Which is fine. Because your film could actually double up as a Freddy film if you wanted to. Your first one. Your Jason Voorhees film.
Fuck. It wasn't what I was going to pick, but now I almost feel obligated.
I'm more interested in knowing the rationale behind you all reviewing all the Leprechaun films.
Is that we are reviewing all the Children of the Corn movies.
Okay.
And Elliot is on all of those episodes. Yeah. And we're having a lot of fun reviewing these honestly fairly shitty films. And you can buy these DVD box sets of these film series for cheap. Like we got the Children of the Corn one for like $6. It had 6 films in it. which is insane. I bought the Leprechaun box set for like $8, and it has like 9 films in it. And that's kind of the thing, is we're just enjoying ourselves doing this. So, anyway, so Leprechaun is the first of what is going to be a series of us reviewing these cinema series that have tons and tons of sequels. Okay. That's the premise.
Okay. Sorry to rain on the parade.
I just never thought we would see Leprechaun on this. I thought Pinhead maybe, but Pinhead's maybe not a slasher. And I've never seen a Pinhead film. So pick your Leprechaun film.
I think it's got to be the original, from '93, starring Jennifer Aniston.
All right, Leprechaun 1. How about this?
Yeah.
How about we record the Leprechaun episode?
Okay.
And we'll have both Elliot. Well, we'll have to. This is going to be tough to coordinate because. Well, I'll see if we can get it done. Because we release a lot sooner. Like, we record way far ahead. But what I was saying is we could record that and they'd be a guest on this podcast. And at the same time, you'd be a guest on that podcast. And we would just use the same audio.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's a genius idea. I'm glad I thought of it.
Yeah.
Now, you want me to pick Freddy versus Jason.
I don't want you to pick that one. I'm just saying that, like, you have the opportunity to...
I know, but it's not the one I wanted to pick.
Then don't pick it.
I'm not going to. So we're going to watch Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter, which, as we all know, is the last time Jason Voorhees was ever in a movie.
Yes.
Which is, this is like the, I don't want to say it's the Friday the 13th movie, but you know, it's a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah. And it's, I've seen it once, but it's been a long time.
I haven't seen 4 in ages.
Right.
But I've seen Freddy versus Jason in the recent past. So, all right, Ghostface.
All right, Scream 2.
Okay. Now I have Scream 1 memorized, so
Scream 2 is my favorite.
Scream 1 is mine.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that. But I almost feel like we should maybe watch Scream 1. I don't know. I'm going to watch Scream 1 anyway because I love it. It's the greatest.
I can watch Scream 1 before we record Scream 2.
But it's just so weird that we're jumping all the way mid, because I'm going to do the same thing here for Chucky. For Chucky, I'm going to pick my favorite Chucky movie, which I love the original. Really, there aren't any what I would call bad Chucky movies. Because Chucky is actually, in my opinion, the most consistent franchise with its story. Like, they all stick together and they all make sense, and they're all, maybe they don't make sense, but they all weave into the next one. They don't ever leave anything out. If there's some weird ass character that was questionably introduced, they just keep it around. But anyway, we got to watch the best, which is, in my opinion, from 1998, starring Jennifer Tilly, is Bride of Chucky. I love this one. Have you seen it?
I have, and it's also my favorite.
Yes. Good. Also, Jennifer Tilly is in it. Jennifer Tilly is. Oh, my gosh.
All right, so that brings us to our fifth face of the Rushmore. Michael Myers. What film are we watching of his?
Well, of his, because the day that episode's going to come out, this is something we've done before with leap year, right? The 29th, we did leap year. Whenever our stuff ends on Labor Day, we're going to watch Labor Day.
That's correct.
Somehow, I don't know. So that episode comes out on Halloween. So we got to watch Halloween, the original. I've seen it, but it has been decades. And I don't know if I've ever sat from beginning to end. So, well, that should be kind of...
I don't know if I've ever seen it all the way through either, so...
I've seen parts. But, see, like, Mike Myers was never on my radar. I was a Jason Voorhees guy growing up. Freddy to a little, lesser extent. But, and then Chucky. I love Chucky, so... Let's run it down. We're going to watch Leprechaun 1.
Yep.
part 4 of Friday the 13th, Scream 2. I'm going to watch Scream 1 as well, just because I love it so much, and it just seems right. And Chucky, we're going to watch, I just wrote down Jennifer Tilly. We're going to watch Bride of Chucky, and then finally on Halloween Day, Halloween.
I like the collection of films that we've organized here. I think it'll make for a spooky month, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
So let me message these fools.
So while you're doing that, hey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button when it pops up so you don't miss any future content right here on our podcast if you're watching on YouTube. And if you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, we're at Movie Draft House. We just crossed 300 subs on YouTube, so maybe you can be one of them. And don't forget, the podcast releases weekly every Thursday on your favorite podcast streaming platform. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts. We're on all the podcast platforms. So catch us wherever you want. And if you want to follow Jeff on Twitter, you can't. So who cares?
Yep, I quit Twitter. It sucks. If you want to follow Mark on Twitter and say, bitch, leprechaun on the Mount Rushmore? What the fuck?
I think you would be better. This would be better received by you if you hadn't already had plans to review these films.
But also, the lack of Freddy.
You had the opportunity to pick Freddy as well.
But I picked Jason Voorhees and Chucky, two who deserve to be on there. Okay, Voorhees is unquestionably has to be on this list along with Mike Myers. Let's do 4.
Okay, but Chucky is not unquestionably a Rushmore face.
Freddy, Jason, and Mike Myers, all 3, have to be on the list on the Mount Rushmore.
Right, I got you.
So who's number 4? Because it sure as shit ain't Leprechaun.
I would say Ghostface.
Okay,
he's so the face is so recognizable,
and it's more modern, and
true.
We really haven't had a modern slasher. And I say it's more modern; it was '90s, but you know.
No, I mean, they're still pumping out Scream films, you know, and they're not terrible. That's the other thing is
I like the 2 recent ones.
Yeah, I did too,
and I like 4. Really, the only one I would say I don't like is 3.
Yep.
But I even don't hate that one. It's just really the worst of the best.
All right. Anyway, so next week we dive in. And we'll be watching Leprechaun from 1993, starring Jennifer Aniston, so join us then. Jeff, any last words?
I can't believe you did this to me.